I don't know how much of this we can look at, really. There's a study here. Um, this is just talking about exploring the attractiveness of dark triads. Short-term mating is considered more evolutionary adaptive for males than females due to males' higher fitness variance and lower obligate parental investment. Although women may be prepared to engage in uncommitted mating where good genes represent a trade-off for lack of investment, so this is basically having sex with the bad boy, okay? Casual sexual encounters for women often involve risks, etc. Successful pursuit of short-term mating is largely dependent on their attractiveness to women. In short-term context, women, like men, place high value on facial and bodily attractiveness. Sorry, Black Pill guys. There is some evidence there for your case. And evidence suggests that the dark triad and its constituent traits are associated with higher physical attractiveness. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So dudes who are better looking have more of these dark triad traits. That's, that's interesting. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Psychopathy it consists of callousness, a lack of empathy, antisocial, erratic behavior. Again, being unpredictable. Okay. All right. There's just so much stuff here. But I think another one that was interesting was this. This is an article from Mail Online. This is going back a little bit now as well, actually. This is 2016, but nevertheless, still relevant. Women are drawn to men with facial features. Okay, remember this correlation between looks and dark triad. With facial features showing dark triad traits. Masculine and dominant traits may suggest men will make a good father. Women with preference for narcissistic men's faces had more children. Women really are drawn to men with dark, brooding looks. That suggests they are mad, bad, or dangerous to know. Okay? Remember, dangerous man formula. Women are attracted to dark, brooding looks that suggest these guys are mad, bad, or dangerous to know. From the moody Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights to dangerous James Bond. We always talk about Daniel Craig as James Bond, by the way, when we're talking about this stuff. Women are attracted to their facial features, psychologists say. Okay, and this is why, by the way. So a lot of the time, guys will say, all right, so should I smile in my dating app photos? And there is some evidence, PhotoFeeler, if you guys are aware of that site, PhotoFeeler, that you can put your photographs up there and it will get judged by a anonymous panel and they'll say whether you look good or not. PhotoFeeler apparently suggests that if you're smiling in your photos, women think that you're more attractive. But I mean, I personally, I don't know why that result comes out, but I don't really buy it, okay? Because if you look at any movie star, if you look at this picture of Daniel Craig here, right, he's not smiling. He's not smiling, is he? And if you think about any poster for any big movie, the lead character, unless it's like some goofy comedy, right, is not going to be smiling, okay? Well, why is that, Tom Hardy there. Bruce Willis, well, he looks a bit... I'm not sure that's the best example. He is kind of smiling there. So I think... So what's interesting here, I think, is that... on the one hand, we'd have to look more into this and look at more data and all the rest of it. But, I mean, it seems like fundamentally women are more sexually turned on by guys who have these dark triad, bad boy traits and whose looks also correlate to that. And I would say a very simple hack for that is partly not smiling like a goon, when you meet her and being a little bit more appraising and a little bit more, the narrowed eyes. The Black Pill guys talk about this. You want to have the hunter eyes, not the prey eyes, all those kinds of things, right? But anyway, women are more short-term attracted to these guys for sure because they seem to be these sexy kind of devil-may-care, risk-taking bad boy kind of characters. But what we're reading here would suggest that actually, these guys also can end up in longer-term relationships with women as well and end up having families with them. And I think, from my layman's perspective, I think a reason for that is because if you become intimate with a woman and, at first she may regard you as being, all right, he's like, he's a guy I'm just going to have sex with. He's like a fun guy. he's kind of that bad boy, whatever, devil may care. I'm not nothing serious here, but he's good for some short-term fun. Okay, it is far easier to convert that into becoming her boyfriend than it is to sort of go on 15 dates with her and audition for the role of boyfriend. Okay, so I think what often happens here is that women are initially attracted to the bad boy, okay, the jerk. She might not initially think, well, I'm going to settle down with this guy and have kids with him or whatever. But then what happens is, they start becoming intimate and she kind of gets feels for him. And if the guy also has this other softer side, not softer side, but, this kind of warmer side to him, the psychopathy isn't turned up to 10. He's also got this empathetic side that he slowly is able to show as time goes on. It's a very attractive mix, okay, for women. And so, again, you've got to think about yourself honestly and think, well, how am I presenting when I'm on a date, when I'm going and approaching? How am I presenting? Am I coming across as just a bit of a beige, like vanilla kind of normie sort of dude? Or is there something a bit more to me? Is there some mystery? Is there a sense of risk taking? Is there a sense that I am, it talks about being erratic here and impulsive, right? Is there that sense to me? And if there isn't, you need to think carefully about, okay, so these things clearly appear to be attractive. So how can I bring a little bit more of that out in my existing personality? Okay. Let's have a look at the comments. Girls just want to have fun, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Women need toxicity, drama, and chaos to feel loved and alive. Indeed. Dark Triads, males are more successful in life. Success is attractive. And then he talks about in James Bond, Roger Moore versus Daniel Craig. You're right. Marriage causes divorce. There is evidence to suggest that dark triad men are actually, it's not just about dating. It's not just about sex. They're also more successful in career terms as well. Because, these are people, probably A-type personalities or whatever, right? These are people who are going to go out there and they're going to fucking get things done, okay? And they're not going to let others stand in their way, right? They are... we talk about psychopathy, right? So at the very least, they lack empathy, okay? They are not really bothered about what other people think about them. They're just going to go and fucking do what needs to be done anyway. We talk about Machiavellianism, okay? Which you could say, colloquially, is like playing the system, all right? They're not afraid to, maneuver in order to get what they want to get, okay? They're ruthless. Yeah, he talks about marriage causes divorce. Dark triad guys tend to be ruthless. Exactly. Well, to get ahead, even in a big corporation, it seems all very polite on the surface, but you need a degree of ruthlessness to be successful in that environment. Also in a sports environment, I've listened to books about people like Kobe Bryant and stuff like that, and showing ruthlessness even within their own team, right? And certainly with the other team. Okay, you've got to be prepared to win at all costs, and that's what these guys are gonna do. They're not the dudes who are on the London Underground with their tote bags and their nice, carefully shaved beards and their sort of like nice guy kind of glasses on, and like, oh yeah, okay, like these are the guys who go out there and fucking make stuff happen. They bend the world to their own will. All right, obviously that is going to be more attractive to a woman than not. All right, so. Putting aside the sort of the ethical aspect of this and saying, well, these don't sound like very nice people. Well, I think, look at James Bond. Look at Daniel Craig's James Bond, okay? He combines these traits. At the same time, is he a nice guy? Well, he's certainly a good guy, all right? He certainly looks after the woman that he's with, the main Bond girl in the show. He will look after her. He would lay down his life for that woman. Okay, he is doing something that is ultimately good. He is there defeating an enemy. Okay, so it's not about being horrible, but these traits. And if you read the book The Wisdom of Psychopaths by, I think it's Chris Dutton, really good book, really interesting book. Dutton makes the case that actually psychopathy, we tend to think of it just as being this negative thing, but actually psychopathy is really useful in some sectors of society, like, for example, for surgeons who have to basically cut people up, okay? For people working in high-pressure financial, Wall Street-type jobs, okay? The ability to become and not allow things to affect, under pressure and operate under pressure. People in the army, people in the military, all right? A degree of psychopathy can be really actually beneficial to society. These people are necessary, Okay, so it's not all bad. You know, we just all immediately will default to, oh, the serial killer or whatever. But you know, there are a lot of people with these traits, and they're operating perfectly fine in society. But they tend to be the guys who are more successful because they cut through all the bullshit. Sourdough avocado for breakfast and soy coffee equals nice guy. I, I don't know, man. I quite like a bit of avocado toast, but not the toast because I'm meant to be off carbs now. All right, like I'm basically. I was talking to King, one of the dudes here yesterday, because basically, right, I'm kind of off carbs. I do porridge in the morning, so that I've got a little bit of carbs, and then after that, I'm basically doing keto. I did have a sandwich today, but that was an anomaly.